welcome to episode 23 of the Critical Twits podcast. Today, we're going to be dipping our toes into the murky waters of Dicemasters. So, welcome to the 23rd episode of the Critical Twits podcast. Today, we're going to play a brand new game, and then we're going to tell you exactly what we think about it.
Yeah.
We're going to play Dicemasters. Who's it by?
Wizkids.
By Wizkids. I'm Brian Ennis, and I have never played Dicemasters before.
I'm Aaron Ravinsky. I think I've played one game, briefly.
Loser. Get good.
Never.
I'm Colin. I've played 3 and I retired because I won all 3. So, yeah.
So you're not playing today, then?
Yeah.
You're coming out of retirement to deal with the new generation and show us a thing or two. You're like the Rocky Balboa of Dicemaster.
Even though I'm younger than all of you.
We are joined by semi-regular now guest podcast, friend of podcast? Friend of podcast. Podcast friend.
I do like the fact that we get to say friend of podcast.
Yes.
Sounds very formal.
I like the fact we're an entity.
Joe, friend of podcast.
First to bear his name. That's me bearing his name.
Sure, that should be.
Can I leave at this point?
So we're joined by Joe, a semi-regular guest, and I'm hoping something of a Dicemaster expert.
Yeah, I'm a fairly active player. I play at the local store that runs all of the events. I've gotten quite into the game as my competitive outlet at the moment. I've moved on from HeroClix onto this, essentially, which is another WizKids game.
I played HeroClix once, and I won, and I retired.
I also played HeroClix once, and won, and retired.
But you played twice, because I beat you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yes.
Liar!
I took the crown from your head
You did.
and wore it smeared with your blood and
Wasn't that
excrement.
the game where I just rolled 5s and kept winning?
Yes, Colin.
Yeah.
That's very annoying.
I liked that game.
I can barely remember anything. All I know is there was a paper map, and I had Spider-Man.
I sat in a HeroClix model once. I can say they're very sturdy.
Was that one of Joe's HeroClix models?
Yeah.
Are you sure it was a HeroClix model?
You will just break my things.
It was rolling around in the car.
Yeah, they do that.
So, Joe, would you just like to give us a quick run through of what Dicemasters is?
Yeah, Dicemasters is a collectible card game that involves dice. So I suppose you're collecting both, really. You have a series of characters on a team, and you do battle against someone else, very much in the same way you do with Magic the Gathering. You each have 20 life points as a player, and it's the aim is to get the opposing player down to 0. Again, it draws a lot of similarities to Magic, which I'll probably compare it to a fair few times when explaining, because nearly everyone knows what it is.
I've played a lot of Magic, so that'd be nice to have something to compare to.
Yeah, I mean, Magic the Gathering is kind of like the archetypal collectible card game. It was
Yeah.
the first one that was really big, and it's still kind of the big squatting behemoth over the genre.
This is
Gently dumping its crap upon the other games, because I'm not a big fan.
It's a slightly more strategic game than Magic, in that you don't throw loads of creatures onto the field and they just sit there for ages and slowly kill your opponent. If you manage to damage your opponent with a creature, it goes away rather than staying where it is. So there's a lot more tactfully managing when's a good opportunity to attack and when isn't. There is still that element of randomness that you get in any of these kind of games, but instead of drawing your cards, you are choosing which dice to buy. So one of the big things that I like about it is that it's a lot more of an open format. I'm aware exactly what my opponent has.
Yeah.
I can see everything that they could purchase or use. There's never going to be look, I drew this £300 card that destroys you because you didn't know I have it. You are aware of what's going on pretty much at all times. The only randomness is if the dice roll onto faces you don't want.
Yeah.
But again, there's systems in the game and cards that help you to minimise the random chance.
Yeah, because when you said it was a more strategic game, my brain immediately entered some kind of strange realm of cognitive dissonance, because to me, dice equals randomness.
Yes, they are the random element which you need in almost any of these games. It's very hard to make one that doesn't have a random element.
I suppose even Magic, you shuffle the cards.
Well, that's it. You're shuffling. You've got to acquire land and everything else, and have that kind of potentially random mana base that can completely ruin games.
Yeah.
In this, you draw 4 dice per turn. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things can boost that. Things can reduce that. But you have a stable. This is what you will have every turn.
Okay.
The dice, rather than a mana system of different colours, again comparing to Magic, you have different symbols. You have a bolt, a mask, a fist, and a shield.
Yep.
They are your colour types, essentially.
Okay.
Each character will have a corresponding number, and you purchase dice that go into your bag. You draw dice at random from your bag. Again, ways of getting dice out of your bag prematurely is quite good because it allows you to control when you're using things. Yeah, I mean there are a lot of complexities I could go into, but I don't think are particularly necessary for a brief introduction.
No.
The game itself is focused mostly, the same as again HeroClix, Wizkid's other game, around superheroes.
Okay.
So their main thing is Marvel and DC heroes.
Yeah.
There's loads of X-Men, Avengers, Batman stuff.
Cool.
There's a big the lanterns, like the Green Lantern, but with the red lanterns, yellow lanterns, black lanterns are all in there as well. And then they've done a couple of side bits. There's D&D sets, which is one of the ones we're using today because I know
It will appeal to me because I don't like superheroes. They're rubbish. Most of them are fascists. Please see our Batman review podcast for details of my views on superheroes. I got quite angry.
We all got quite angry at that.
Yeah.
That was odd.
Broke my love for Batman.
Do you think superheroes are inherently a fascist concept, Joe?
I think it's a trait that's there in quite a few of them, but I wouldn't say they're inherently fascist.
Cool, move on. You can stay.
They've also done a Yu-Gi-Oh set, and there's plans to do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set because apparently they're a big fad again nowadays.
Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh is like Magic the Gathering, and just doesn't seem to die, which is odd.
Yeah, it's oddly popular for how bad it is as a game.
Not a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't dislike it, but I'm not a fan of a game set that kind of just goes, oh, and this is the rule, or it was the rule, unless this happens, and then this thing happens as well, and then basically the book you get that tells you the rules, you might as well throw away because these cards ignore all of it, and it's crap. I don't like that. I like my rule systems. I like concrete ways of playing. Anything that's a bit like, well, we're not really sure what happens here. Is naff.
You're quite into your competitive games.
Yes.
Whereas I can kind of take and leave the competitive side of things. What would appeal for me in Dicemasters, do you think? Not being so keen on clashing all before me, hearing the lamentations of their parents buying them more dice.
Do you get to steal their dice from the game?
This isn't Pogs.
No.
Isn't that what they used to do with Pokemon cards?
Yeah,
Yes.
there was a thing, and that was banned in my school when we were very young.
Yeah?
Yeah, because people were like nicking, going, I bet you I'd steal your nice card and went off with it.
Yeah.
It was never, I think, official thing.
Cutthroat Pokemon's not something I experienced as a child.
No.
Kids used to get mugged in my school for Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah.
I see some fools get stabbed up, yo. With a gun.
I'm clearly not gone down with the underground Pokemon scene.
No, obviously.
But,
but selling to Brian. Sorry, I distracted there.
yeah, you've there's a lot of nice mechanics in it that allow you to make very theme-based teams. Today I've brought with me an X-Men team, an Avengers team, and then 2 D&D themed teams, one of good characters and one of evil characters. You can make a team based entirely on having demons in it. And so they all play off each other, and so this one makes them cheaper, this one makes them better, this one makes them shoot jelly. There's all kinds of things you can do. That might be a bit outside of their room, but you do.
I was excited about shooting.
You
jelly.
can get gelatinous cubes as a character.
Well, now I am quite excited by that.
And owlbears. I know you love an
I
owlbear.
do like an owlbear.
Everyone loves an owlbear.
What we're going to do is we're going to dice off to see who gets to choose their team first.
Okay.
and who might become the inaugural Master of Dice. If I roll highest, I'm quitting. Just like Colin does. Ooh, bet that sounds good.
Right.
I've got 6.
What's
I
this?
won.
I also got a 6.
Well, you're going to go last. You're going to get what
Cool.
you're given.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
2.
6.
Are Minsk and Boo in the good D&D team?
Yes.
And I'm being Minsk and Boo.
Do you not need to roll off against Colin because
Yeah.
you've got the same number?
No, I'm in charge of the podcast.
I want the evil team anyway.
Okay.
I knew you
We will
would.
be playing X-Men and Avengers then.
Okay.
You can choose. Well, who would you prefer out of X-Men and Avengers? If you say Avengers, we're not friends anymore.
It was going to be X-Men anyway.
Yes, because they're better.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
The Avengers always seem to me like a group of billionaires flying somewhere in their private jets to discuss climate change. So, what we're going to do is we're going to crack out the Dicemasters. Joe's going to show us how to play.
Yep.
And via the magic of editing, we will be back with our thoughts, our verdicts on the game
Yep.
in a bit.
That's what they did in Wayne's World. Don't look at me like that.
Welcome back. We've gone away. We've played some Dicemasters.
Yeah.
We've had some thoughts. We've done some thinking. So, I suppose we'll start with our thoughts, and then maybe we'll put some questions to Joe, and we'll sort of sum up towards the end.
Yeah.
What did we think?
Who's going first? I'll go first. I actually really enjoyed it. A lot more than I expected to.
Why weren't you expecting to like it?
Well, Joe has this sheet for like the different zones you use for the dice, and it looked confusing as
I saw that in the car earlier, and I went, "What have we got ourselves into?"
The weird dice flowchart.
Yes.
Well, there's 6 sections.
You gotta love games with a flowchart.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I don't do an engineering degree. I don't do flowcharts, but
That's the only time you're allowed to do flowcharts. They are very advanced.
Yes.
They are higher education material.
See, I
still at
look
spider
at things like this that I'm holding up for the people that can't see it, and I quite like it because flowcharts are quite a simple way of going. This does this, and then that happens. And
Yeah,
everything. And I think more games need flowcharts personally.
I mean,
I wouldn't disagree actually.
Yeah, it's a good way of doing things, but there's no clear where you start on that flowchart. It's just a lot of arrows almost sort of swirling round in a whirlpool.
Yeah, true.
Yes. Had a thought and it's gone. So
Oh, Jesus. Cool. So it looked more complicated than it actually turned out to be?
Yeah, to actually play, it's. I don't want to use simple because it's not. There's a lot of tactical thought that needs to go into it, but the actual getting the grasp of how things go is simple enough. You roll some dice, they have figures on them, you match them to the things you want to buy, and you use that to get more dice to do more things. It's as simple as that, which is like very much. I've played other like press your luck dice games.
Yeah.
I've run similar mechanics, and it runs very much like that, but with tactics.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I wasn't sold until I sent an orc into battle riding on a unicorn with a magic hat on. At which point I was actually quite thoroughly enjoying myself.
Yeah.
It seems to be the basic mechanics are very simple. You roll your dice, you generate your different types of energy, you buy things or you set things into your sort of your battle area.
Yeah.
You then decide whether or not you're going to attack.
Yeah.
You work out the combats and they're fairly fast and fluid, but it's the cards themselves that seem quite complicated. Each card has its own unique rules, its own unique dice that goes with it,
Yeah.
that you can have varying numbers of. It looks like the kind of thing you could get lost in building lists for hours and hours and hours.
Yes.
If you're into that kind of thing. I'm not. I find that quite dull.
Yeah, I don't really have. I used to like it. I mean, I said before, I used to play Magic the Gathering and stuff, and list building was that was a fun aspect of the game. You collect and make up these lists. And this works with this. I don't necessarily have the time for that anymore, so I think that's one of the reasons I get put off by it, and especially late game. Coming into a system late, late is fairly late into it, I suppose. Where there's a lot of stuff out there, you perhaps got too much choice and you get a bit overwhelmed with it.
Yeah, people go, why don't you do this? Why haven't you picked this? Why you can't play that army without this man with a hat? You go, I don't even know there was a hat. What's going on? And yeah, you kind of need to sometimes almost take a step back. I like the idea of a themed list.
Yeah.
So I was looking at DC because I quite like Constantine, for instance.
Yeah.
I've been watching Daredevil.
Yeah.
So I thought, Kingpin, he's quite horrible and
Yeah.
obnoxiously overweight. That could be quite funny. I quite like Dungeons and Dragons as a concept.
Pure owlbear team, obviously.
Yeah, just owlbear after owlbear. We could do like a wildlife-looking team by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Have owlbears and unicorns. Anything else we could add to that team?
Do dragons count as wildlife? I suppose if a unicorn does.
Possibly dragons. Yeah, quite a few dragons in the Evil D&D team.
Yes, which I love them. Yeah.
And there were things I quite like the X-Men as well. So
Yeah, I like the first game I played today. Anyway, actually, I think the first game I played last time I had X-Men as well because I like the X-Men stuff. Yeah, it's nice to build the teams you kind of know. And
you made me play the Avengers.
Yeah,
which was horrible.
Yeah,
but I won.
Yeah, you did.
So evil triumphs.
Yes, by sacrificing your pawns constantly, from what I recall, just throwing waves and waves of minions at them.
It wasn't porn, it was very cheap. I don't even know who the guy was. I'd never heard of him. He's like Falcon or something weird.
Oh, yes. Falcon.
Never heard of him, don't know what he does, but because I had he's quite powerful, but because I had Nick Fury's and I bought Nick Fury's first, I could hire in for free lots of Avenger people.
Yeah.
So I was able to sort of get a little production line where Nick Fury would go, right, 47 different versions of Falcon, run towards the enemy. And they'd go, yes, boss. And they'd run off and they might cause a bit of damage and they'd disrupt your lines.
Yeah.
They go back in the bag, I draw them out later and I go, I don't have to pay to recruit them. Go. So it's just kind of standing in front of some kind of cloning chamber pointing quickly.
Superhero production line, yeah.
Yeah, so that was quite good. And then Captain Avenger came along, murdered all your minions. Because he's good at minion murdering.
Yeah, that seemed a bit harsh. Just to
and then he
destroy all your pawns. Oh, the poor pawns. He picks on the weakest.
Yeah.
That's very American.
It is, isn't it? It's kind of like... And then because I also get healed. So it's kind of like the American economy. It goes over somewhere where it picks on all the weak places and then builds itself up. So it awards it. Captain America essentially goes in with a lawyer and assigns the rebuilding contract back to his own team. So he is the Iraq War personified. What a cunt. But you know, if you want to, at least we're only pretending to be evil in the game. It's not real. What did you think, Colin?
I wouldn't buy it.
No?
No. It's fun to
Would
play.
you shoplift it?
Yes. Yes, I would. It's fun to play, but I wouldn't want to play this all the time. I'd get bored quite quickly.
Okay.
Again, it's the collectible aspect of it would bore the crap out of me. Going, have you looked at 47-man A16B with a shiny hat 7? That's a great combination. What? Fuck off.
Dicemasters, the invoice game.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it a geek thing? Because as much as...
Yeah, collecting things.
Collecting things, and every time I look at that type of stuff, I go, I might just go out with a girl. I know a few. Some of them might go to at least one of them will go to the pub with me. That's got to be better, right? That's a better idea.
You're collecting women.
So what I would say for the is it a geek thing? Yes, but it's a subset of geek thing.
Yeah,
there are a certain group that I sort of flit in and out of that absolutely love the thrill of opening a packet and maybe getting something you want, but normally being a bit disappointed, and so spending more money on more packets to maybe get that thing you want.
Yeah, I like the certainty of going, I want Jeff number 7 with 3 dice. Here is 7 of my pounds. I would like Jeff 7 with 3 dice, please. I like that certainty of knowing I'm getting the thing I want so I can then play it.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I quite liked Netrunner, because you buying a pack with these things in, that's it. I know exactly what I'm getting. I can still collect it, but I know what I'm getting. I'm not risking spending those money and gambling, essentially. But at the same point, I did do the same thing with Magic the Gathering. Even about 5 years ago, I went back into, I want to collect all the shiny cards again. Oh, it's a foil one. That elation you get is a little bit...
Why did you turn into a seal?
But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's the two ways of looking at things. I mean, I am now myself a little bit more of a no, like Brian said, I want to get the things I like. I do quite like Netrunner. I think it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Asymmetrical games are nice.
Yeah.
Because change and difference and stuff. But again, having a booster pack where you go, I'm buying this pack and it comes with these cards is wonderful.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said for opening a thing and going, oh my god, it's that one I wanted that I wanted for ages, or oh, this one's worth loads of money, I can swap it for things. And again, depending on the sort of person you are, that sociable aspect of swapping things is quite good.
We briefly got into Magic about 6 years ago.
Yes, we did.
And the first thing I did is I worked out exactly what I wanted. Then I went online and worked out how much it would cost to buy the cards directly from people that had those particular cards that I wanted, so I could have the thing I wanted and not have to piss around opening little packs and messing around like an idiot.
Now, interestingly enough, that's how I currently play Dicemasters. I open packs because if I win things or go to events and stuff, I get packs. Or if I go, oh, I need those things from that starter set, I'll go and buy that. That's 16 quid. I'll spend 4 quid on packs to boost it up to 20 because change.
Yeah.
But
as in the money
or the concept?
Both. Equally against them. But yeah, I'm now at a point where I think, oh, do you know what? I could go and spend a tenner and get the thing I want.
Yeah.
Or I could spend 15 quid, definitely get the thing I want, and the things with it, and know that that's what I'm getting and what I want. And, and to be honest, eBay makes that fantastic. Yeah. Because it's really good for anything collectible.
I liked what you said about the fact that you'll have multiple versions of the same character that use the same dice, but they have different rules on the cards, different costs. So the rare ones tend to be the more powerful versions that have more powerful abilities, but you just use the same dice. So the dice are quite cheap to buy some extra of. You just need to get one copy of the card. You're not trying to get 4 really expensive rare dice for 60 quid each. Yeah. Which with Magic you don't want just one good card in a deck. You want multiples of the same to gear your deck round doing stuff like that. So I found I wasn't as put off by the collectible aspect of it.
No, yeah, definitely.
What I would quite like is what they did with Magic is they did where you could buy all the commons all together in a big pack.
Oh yeah,
the deck building box.
Yeah,
if they did something like that, I know it'd probably be quite a bit more expensive because you've actually got plastic and such like, and the dice are more expensive. But I would jump on that, because then it would allow me to have at least like the basic idea of going, I could play with this and that and that and that and this and this and the other.
I mean, I'd argue you can. You can achieve that with the starter sets, to a point. There are more and more recently, actually, for anyone that sounds interested but thinks, oh my god, it's a bit off-putting with all of the stuff that it can do, and all of the different things. There are a couple of cards in starter sets that are very, very competitive. There are full competitive teams that are just made out of common cards that you can build very cheaply. If you're a bit savvy and you know some people that have things, or a local store that does singles, you could probably buy this completely tournament-worthy deck for 50 quid at most.
Which is not. That's actually quite reasonable.
Considering that chances are in Magic, and I've run Magic decks before that want 4 of this card, 4 of this card, 4 of this card, and each card is 25 to 75 quid.
Yeah.
Now, I've owned Magic decks that cost more than I have spent on Dicemasters.
Yeah.
And I can field 3 or 4 tournament-worthy decks or teams, as it were, at the same time. Yeah, having spent less than I would on one deck for Magic. So,
does any of that change your mind about anything, Colin?
No,
not
at all. I don't like collectible stuff. Wargaming, tabletop miniatures is a hobby. I have to build them. I have to paint them. That's what I'm in it for. If
you don't get a random space marine, or it could be an orc, or it could be,
or even if they went, here's some Malifaux models, they're ready painted, ready made, I wouldn't be playing Malifaux right now because that would bore me. Because because I want to build them, I want to paint them. That's my hobby.
There is it's the same way as there is with the collectibles of opening some up and finding something you really like. With Malifaux, there is a certain satisfaction about actually having built that model yourself and it being yours personally.
Yeah, Joe could say you could buy the cards with blank spaces in and draw your own pictures in.
Yes. Well, here's the big thing.
You hesitated.
No, because here's the big thing. If I had 50 spare quid to go and buy a couple of tournament ready decks. I'd rather go to the pub.
So I was actually interested. I was having a look at how to maybe get into this. Actually, I don't want to spend a lot of money on it, but it's the kind of thing I think I could dig out, and you could play for half an hour while we wait for Colin to have a shower because he's just woken up in a bush because he spent all his money on tequila rather than on board games.
Yeah, like Joe mentioned earlier, the stuff you're saying, like the bits and pieces you need to bring with you are some dice and a dice bag to fit those and the cards in, which fits in your back pocket. It's something you can carry around you at all times for a quick game anywhere. You don't need...
It is nice and portable.
Yeah, that is nice.
It's a deck of cards and a bag of dice. You put them all in the bag together, do it up, chuck it in your bag.
Yeah, and that's it. You've got a quick go, like I said, quick game when everything goes wrong.
Fit it in your back pocket if you don't need the board because you've memorised it.
Yeah,
all you need is some cards and a few dice.
You only need a small space to play, really.
Yeah.
Once you know what you're doing as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've been playing on the actual mats today, which leads out the actual zones and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I think even now I could probably play without them.
Yeah,
they're lovely mats. Don't get me wrong, because they're nice to keep your dice still. But it's as much as that flowchart looked scary when I first looked at it. Now again, like you said, you've played it. It's exactly right. This moves up, that moves left, that moves right. Done.
Yeah. It's used pile, KO pile,
attack, field, stuff you've just rolled.
Yeah, it's simple stuff, and you just got to.
So actually, that's got me interested in playing. I quite like some of the things, just to go a little bit deeper, that it was doing mechanically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned push your luck.
Yes. Yeah.
So you draw a handful of dice out your bag, roll them. Obviously, there's different things on the different face of the dice, or that would be completely pointless.
Yeah.
Making dice. So you get a chance to re-roll.
Yep.
There's also various abilities on cards that might let you pick up a dice, roll it, and if it becomes a certain thing, then you might get to keep it or put it in the right place or things like that. Otherwise, you've wasted an action.
Yeah.
So you've got that kind of a bit of gambling in there, which I quite like. But you have ways of mitigating that by sort of planning ahead, choosing which ones you're going to roll, having characters that have been knocked out, you get to roll them to see if they come back, kind of so there's still control over that. It's not completely random, so there's a nice sort of balance, and when and where you decide to push your luck seems quite good.
I mean, that, to be honest, the mechanics and the way the game works is one of my favourite things about it. You don't have this surprise element that you do in a lot of collectible card games.
Yeah.
Of, this is my deck, or I don't know what he's got. He's playing this kind of thing, so he's probably got these cards in there.
Yeah.
No, I can look across the table. I can look at every single card, read every single card, know exactly what they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can look at any point and figure out where the different dice are, the chances of things being brought out.
Yeah.
There isn't any of this kind of slightly underhanded, bluffing type stuff, or anything like that you get in card games, which I feel sometimes can lead to a negative play experience. That look, I've got this really expensive card, fuck you, I win.
Yeah.
Reminds me of playing poker, actually, those type of games.
Yes.
No, I like that. I like, it's one of my favourite bits of Malifaux is being able to go, Joker, you're dead, sir.
But
that's fine. It's the underhanded bluffing and the...
I do that all the time. I lie through my teeth whenever I receive cards in Malifaux.
But would that kind of thing irritate you in a more competitive scenario?
I wouldn't play this competitively because I don't like playing with people I don't know.
I think that's the difference.
Which is my weird thing.
No, but that's because those kind of things are crappy to experience and they're bad tactics. Now you're doing it with friends and you can go, fuck you, look, I've got this.
Yeah.
And everyone goes, oh, bastard. And then we carry on and don't hate each other.
Yeah.
But you get some little 15-year-old do it to you in a shop and you want to break the face.
Possibly.
And this is it. And that entire section that can become a negative play experience gets removed from Dicemasters.
Yeah.
So it answers that problem for me.
Yeah. Well, to be honest with you, I was going to compare it to Malifaux actually, because you've seen everything they've played, every card they've played. All right, you don't know what cards they've got in their hand, which has got a certain amount of.
But you've got the same information.
Yeah, you've got.
You know what their model does.
Yeah.
All right. you might have the red Joker in your hand, so you're going to move your model over here and smash their leader apart. But I know you can do that. I don't know what cards you've got, but I know it's different with Magic than going, I pull a card, ha, I win.
I've never seen that card
I've never seen that card, had no idea you had that. That's like suddenly plopping down a brand new model on the table right next to your leader and going, oh yeah, I win.
Yeah.
Which would fuck me off.
Yeah. And like I said, this game again, it gets rid of all that because everything's fairly open-handed.
You can do that though, Colin.
What's that?
Oh, I'm going to summon this model that doesn't even exist yet, but there's a card printed in a book, so I'm going to use a proxy. Oh, look, it's now really, really hard. You summoning a drowned the other day against me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
fuck you.
But you know I had one. You know I had a drowned. You've got the rule books. You can read through them and see what they are.
Yeah, you could look at any Magic the Gathering card.
Yeah,
There's
you can
a
look through
lot
the
of
10,000 page manual.
Yes, and look at every tournament ready deck and.
But again, in a friendly environment with friends.
Yeah.
Oh, you cheeky bastard! That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'd be more interested in playing this in a case of I will build something slightly odd and quirky that has a theme from a comic I like, or a D&D faction that I like, or like having Minsk and Boo and going, I like Minsk and Boo.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take, I'm going to find a human thief assassin-y type thing and pretend it's a different character from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I'm going to find a cleric and pretend it's the cleric from Baldur's Gate.
Which is nice.
And do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And go, I make my little Baldur's Gate party in the game, and that would make me happy to play with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily want to fight Tony Stark and the Starship Enterprise, and, whatever different things they've got.
You've played HeroClix before, then?
Yeah, HeroClix.
That is genuinely a scenario that could exist in that game.
Yes, I know, and that's one of the things that put me off of HeroClix.
Why is Iron Man the same size as the Enterprise? This makes no sense.
Why is the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse? Why is the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse fighting Obama? What's going on?
I was put off the collectibleness of HeroClix because HeroClix has physical models that can be very expensive, very large, very difficult to get hold of. This is little cubes and some cards.
Yeah, they're very nice cubes.
You were saying the most expensive thing, Joe, was £60. You've seen sort of the going rate for...
Yeah, the going rate for a couple of the super rare cards that see a lot of play. I believe they are the two most expensive, as Constantine Hellblazer and Black Widow Serena, that generally retail, go on eBay for about 60 quid each.
They're ticket touted for 60 quid each. Yeah, what was the most expensive HeroClix thing?
I remember back in the day, 2 years ago, back in the day, the I don't know, I remember seeing some models that would go for probably more around the 90-100 quid mark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a model rather than a card. You only ever need the one.
Yes, but all their models are shit.
Yes.
I'm not spending 100 quid on something that...
But Colin, if you pick them up and twist the base, the hero clicks.
He does.
He does. But you know what? Even the villains clicks as well.
That's a good point. And where's the Enterprise fit into this?
Shit clicks.
You can genuinely
It's a
have the
machine.
Starship Enterprise as a figure and have it fight next to Iron Man if you wanted to.
Again,
It's
pub.
bizarre. It's bizarre.
Just pub.
Shut up! Stop being such a miserable bastard.
In a very weird twist as well, this may appeal to you, Brian, they did a series of what they sold as horror clicks for that weren't actually HeroClix compatible, but were almost identical. They just couldn't be asked to make them work properly. That was actually kind of cool. They had all like the classic horror guys with the same rule set and stuff, so you could fight them against each other. And I quite like that Wizkid do that. They bring in quite a lot of different franchises.
Yeah.
Could they do like adult, slightly nasty themed Dicemasters called Dicemasters?
I'd be very much in favour of Dicemasters. I think that could be amazing. Just to go over another point for potentially what might entertain Colin, and actually I think Brian would probably find this quite entertaining as well. One of the things they are very happy for you to do, if you have the proper card, you can print yourself off a version of the card with different artwork and have that in front of it for a tournament.
Okay.
So if you wanted to have your Dwarf Cleric be the guy from Baldur's Gate, you could make up a card that had the right rules on, that had him on it. And then, as long as you have the proper cards, you could go, no, look, it's this one, it's the same.
Yeah.
You could actually have your dream team of characters.
Yes.
That's nice.
Or I could have all my different moods as different characters and like pictures of my own face.
I was just thinking
Yes.
pictures of your own face in different expressions.
Yes. Yeah.
Are
Angry,
you winning? Sorry, I just got to change these over quickly.
Yeah.
angry Brian, sad Brian, happy Brian. Yay!
Brian near other people. Disgusted Brian.
Brian on the unicorn.
I didn't really finish my other thing. There seems to be quite a lot that you can do with the deck building. There's quite a lot of synergy between characters. So
Yes.
looking at some of the things you put down, which I'm sure you built this in or it was in the starter box and there deliberately again, was taking Nick Fury, who's known for recruiting superheroes.
Yeah.
He then gets to recruit Avengers for free.
Yeah.
You can then also have team up, or is it assemble? Because Avengers assemble.
Assemble was the basic action, and
Yeah.
it has the teamwork keyword.
Yeah. So it lets you start drawing things out your bag, getting more, like assembling a force of superheroes. You get things out quicker, getting more things out on the board very, very quickly. So there was a nice sort of synergy built into that. And I quite like the idea. Like, Colin, you got quite a group of half-orc fighters, was it?
When?
Yes.
In the game we just played.
yes, I had. Were they half orcs or orcs?
No, half-orcs.
Oh,
yeah, they're half-orc fighters. And then they get to gear up cheaper, so you then bought all of the equipment, and they all had helmets and swords, and more swords, and some of them had swords coming out of their swords.
Yeah, that was odd, but cool at the same time.
Yeah, so you had the synergy there, in that they were quite a nice little piece, but with the equipment, they were even better.
Yeah, they were scary.
And you were able to sort of tool them up quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, if you didn't take any equipment cards, because you don't have to, you'd lose that ability, but they'd still be a nice thing that you could maybe use in a different way.
Yeah.
So it had a nice sort of synergy to it. You could build things together.
Yeah.
Yes.
What I did notice, because Colin's very negative and nobody loves him and no one will go to the pub with him. He has an alcohol problem and he's sad inside.
I think the problem is a lot of people will go to the pub with me. It's all bad influences.
At the end of the game,
Yeah.
you were chatting excitedly with Aaron about what you could have done differently and how different things could work.
Yeah.
For a good 10 minutes while I was trying to set up the recording equipment and actually get us going, because I need to go to bed soon because it's quite late.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that's bad for me, but generally it's a sign of a game. It's not just the experience of playing the game itself, it's talking about it afterwards.
Yes.
It's that social aspect of it as well. And you seem to be really enjoying that. So I was quite surprised when you went, shit, and I fucking hate
No,
life.
I didn't say. I said I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't buy it myself.
Yeah, you don't
Now,
like the investment.
Going
side
back
of
to
it.
Don't want
Malifaux,
fun.
I
Don't
played
want-
Malifaux. We did a tester of Malifaux.
Yeah.
I came home, and I think I spent a good 4 or 5 hours looking up teams, looking up the pictures, looking up models.
Yeah.
And I did that, and then I borrowed the rule books from you, and I spent several nights reading through and reading the background. This was fun, and it was good going, I should have done this, this, and this. I won't think about it tomorrow.
Oh, if you've forgotten how to form memory. Then.
Yeah. It's not something that will cross my mind. If Joe brings it round and goes, "Do you want to play Dicemasters?" I'll go, "Oh yeah, that was quite entertaining. We do that." But it's not something I'm going to sit there and go, "Oh, I'm going to look at decks and I'm going to do that." It's not my thing.
Yeah.
It's just not my cup. It's a fun game, and I've enjoyed playing it tonight. But it's not something I would want to collect.
Because you're not a collectible type of person.
See, I get confused.
No,
If
Can't
I-
collect Collins.
if
That's
I-
a scary thought.
So, yeah, final thoughts?
I'm put off a little bit by the collectible aspect of it because
Yeah.
that's a big investment and things like that. However, the fact that there is a reasonably low entry point to actually having something that I could not lose constantly with is fun. And as Brian said, the ability to be able to build a nice fun team of things that fits, and you can theme stuff and have fun with it. And it is a fun game. I have enjoyed time with it and stuff, so I wouldn't be upset if I had spent 50 quid in it rather than 50 quid in the pub. Not
Yeah.
like Colin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm now quite concerned about Colin's alcoholism. I'm wondering what it means for the future of the podcast, the future of his liver.
That's fine. You can replace
and his
those.
future job prospects.
That's also fine.
One of his future employers listening to the podcast.
I went and got drunk with me, hopefully. So
That's just a man who paints a picture. It's not a man with any power. Your kind never have power, Colin.
that is true.
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe picking something, doing a little themed list that could be fun, but it's not something I'd play super competitively because there's that collectible element that would mean that the person who could afford to go and spend 60 quid on the card and such like would immediately have
big advantage,
said advantage over everyone else because it's not a level playing field. But I would quite happily put together a little something and use it as a almost sort of in-between game or a little
Yeah.
so-and-so is late to the roleplay session, crack out game of Dicemasters, out half an hour, best of 3. Oh look, they're here, cool, we'll play something else. It'd be a nice filler game, and for 16 quid for a 2-player starter set?
Isn't unreasonable at all.
Yeah, I'd quite happily go with that.
I mean, the one point I do want to make, and I mean, I know we're all Magic again is probably the.
It's ruined things like that for us, I fear.
Yeah, and I completely understand why. What I will say to defend Dicemasters a little is that this is probably the one collectible game I've played where having a super rare card compared to a normal card is actually not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yes, there are super rare cards that do certain things very well, but don't really play with too many super rares. I think that the one that I don't really leave home without is 25 quid, but it's a 1 dice card. You buy it, you're done.
Yeah.
But again, there are options around that, and I genuinely feel that it makes less of a difference having all the disposable income to spend on the game. Because of the openness of it all, there's no surprises. It's much more about just planning and tactics than it is who spent the most money.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, Dicemasters, we're going to give that a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
I would give it a thumbs up, actually, to be honest.
As a game, I'd give it a thumbs up.
But as a concept,
But would I go out and buy it? No.
no. Yeah, and I think I might actually at the end of the month pick up a little set to have a play with. So I'm mostly sold. So thank you very much to Joe.
Yes.
Happy to be here as always.
Our competitive gaming guru. Anytime that we play anything that might potentially make someone round the table cry in sadness or frustration, Joe will be there lapping up those salty tears so that we don't have to.
Yes.
like a misery janitor.
At least I know my place.
Yes. So thank you very much, Joe. If you have any tips for us, especially for me, if I'm going to pick up probably the D&D set, is there anything I definitely need? Let me know. You can find us on SoundCloud and YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at critical_twits, and you can find us in real life, tickle us and run away, and we'll have absolutely no idea what just happened.
Please don't do that.
No, Aaron doesn't like being tickled.
No.
If you have a look through our Micro Machines videos, you will see what happens when I tickled Aaron, and I thought he genuinely was going to set me on fire to make me go away.
There was a small part of my brain that did consider that.
Yes.
I don't know why.
So maybe just keep the tickling mostly to Colin. If you do it long enough, he might take you down the pub with 50 quid.
It's true.
Or he might notice it, I was going to say, because he probably have already been down the pub by the time they've caught him.
I am worried about him. Might need to stage some form of intervention, possibly with some games to keep him occupied.
Yes.
He might try and drink them. So, yes, thank you very much. I've been Brian.
I've been Aaron.
I've been Colin.
And I've been Joe.
And we have been the Critical Twits. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you again next time. Bye.
Bye.
I waved again.